All right, joining me now is Congressman Lee Zeldin. He serves the 1st District of New York. He's also on the Financial Services and House Foreign Affairs Committee. And Congressman, of course, we're going to get your thoughts on the Democrats' decision to pull their anti-Semitism condemnation resolution and Ilhan Omar. But first, we want to start with this border and immigration crisis. Do you think Democrats were actually trying to get facts and answers from the DHS secretary, or were they just trying to indict her in the court of public opinion?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you know the answer to that one. The opportunity gets wasted where, for dramatic purposes, playing to a base and wanting to show your followers that you are subscribing to this desire to oppose, resist, impeach, and obstruct everything and anything. I would say it's just a wasted opportunity, but where each person, you get 5 minutes. And it could have been spent a heck of a lot better to get to facts, to get to numbers, to get to policy, and to have a conversation with the DHS secretary where you're advocating for your district and for your country in a way that's moving the ball forward as opposed to just being dramatic and playing to a base.
One of the more specific things that Democrats did question Nielsen on was President Trump's emergency declaration. 4 senators, including Kentucky's Rand Paul, said they would support a resolution condemning the president's national emergency declaration. But the president tweeted this earlier today in an attempt to unite the party on the issue. Quote, Senate Republicans are not voting on constitutionality or precedent. They are voting on desperately needed border security and the wall. Stay united. Do you agree with the president's assessment of this vote?
Yeah, we should be looking at this on the merits of what the president is proposing. We should be looking at precedent. Past presidents they were in the double digits as far as emergency declarations. President Obama, George W. Bush. The president is using pots of money where the executive branch is given flexibility and discretion. We should be looking at the merits of what the president's trying to accomplish, what exactly the urgency is, not just with people legally crossing, but also things that illegally cross, the need to improve national security. And I think a lot of these Democrats, just given their own voting history in the past, have acknowledged that this has been an issue for a long time to come. And then you look at the individual pots of money that the president's using. And I would say if Congress doesn't want the executive branch to have flexibility and discretion for the few pots, then we should enact new law that changes the law, limits what the executive branch can use the funds for. But he's not using a specific pot of money where you can't use that pot for this purpose. Different agencies have pots of money like this, and where the Secure Fence Act is now law, there is an authorization that's on the books. Many of these Democrats voted for it in the past, where the president and the Secretary of Homeland Security determined that they need operational control of the border, and they don't have it right now. They're doing the right thing.
Well, we know that the Democrats are going to fight this, and some Republicans are too, and we'll let the courts sort it out. Let's focus on the controversy surrounding freshman Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. House Democrats met today to discuss this resolution condemning anti-Semitism, which now I understand has turned into a resolution condemning all religious hatred. Initially, it was offered in response to Omar's comments last week when she suggested supporters of Israel have an allegiance to a foreign country, perhaps over the U.S. Some of Omar's progressive colleagues reportedly lashed out at party leadership in this closed-door meeting and said they were making a mistake by rebuking Omar. And now Speaker Pelosi says she's not even sure if they're going to vote on the resolution at all this week. What's your take?
So disappointing. The original draft that came out a couple days ago doesn't name names. It is a resolution that's very similar to one that passed a couple weeks ago. So we're making a lot of the same points that we did a couple weeks back. It was an okay draft. If you want to strengthen it just a little bit more, it could have been an effective statement to pass today. But to look at that draft and determine that it's too strong and it must be watered down and it must be filled up.
It looks like Pelosi and Steny Hoyer, and they chickened out. They chickened out. Looks like they got pressure. I want to focus on something you said, Congressman, on the House floor today, addressing the Omar issue very closely. Let's take a listen.
The member who has been putting out all this anti-Semitic trope should not be serving on her committees, especially the House Foreign Affairs Committee, for many reasons. I encourage a vote today and to remove Congressman Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee.
Some have said that, they can't do this because Ilhan Omar represents this image that Democrats want to project. She's a refugee from a foreign country, an immigrant. She's a Muslim, obviously. She's a woman of color. And that would hurt, effectively, the Democrats politically if they did rebuke her in such a public way. What's your response to that?
She should have never been appointed to this committee in the first place. She should be removed right now. If they don't remove her right now, she's going to get herself kicked off that committee at some point in the future. I have no doubt about that. It's not just for the anti-Semitism and her anti-Israel hate and her pro-BDS position. She has requested leniency for ISIS fighters, pro-Maduro in Venezuela. She's blamed U.S. foreign policy for the al-Shabaab attack in Kenya, and the examples go on. So they made a mistake. Now, if I wanted to raise taxes, that the Republican Steering Committee wouldn't appoint me to the Ways and Means Committee. If I wanted to gut the United States military, the Republican Steering Committee wouldn't appoint me to the House Armed Services Committee. By appointing her to this committee, you look at the value base of the representative, what they're going to be advocating for, and this is a move that empowers and elevates all of these bad positions as opposed to confronting them and crushing them. So it's very telling. A lot of what we're seeing, including that appointment, is telling us where the Democratic Party is moving right now, and it's unfortunate.
It does seem like everything seems to be about identity politics when you look at it, and this seems to be another example of that. Congressman Lee Zeldin, thank you for your time, sir. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for breaking news and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, then share it with your friends. Remember, you can watch Newsmax TV live on YouTube. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.